Are you looking to spice up one of the rooms in your homes with smart home lighting? First of all, good choice on the smart home lighting. Second of all is, well, what do you go with? Do you go with something like the Nanoleaf Aurora, or do you go with something like the Philips Bloom, the Philips LED strips, as well as the Philips Go? From my perspective, the Philips Hue is used to highlight your room, whereas the Aurora is more like a centerpiece and less of a traditional light. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to cover the design differences between the two products, talk about the functionality each product has to offer, and cover how I would personally use these products. The bottom line is you go with the Aurora in rooms where you're going to entertain, and you go with the Philips Hue line for, everywhere else. I've also consulted with my sister, who is an architect, and so she's got a bunch of points that she wants me to share with you guys as well, so stay tuned. At Smart Home Reviews A, yes, there's a dog behind all these boxes, Monty and I base all the reviews on actual usage. And so when it comes to smart lights, well, we gotta go put smart lights everywhere in our house to figure out, which one is the best. And ultimately, to answer the question, how do you get the most out of your existing home with these smart products? When it comes to smart home devices, I've actually been most impressed with colored smart home LED lights. Why? Because it's added a whole new dimension to my home. All the other smart home accessories are kind of fluffy, might not be needed, but colored smart lights are just so cool. When it comes to general design, the Nanoleaf Aurora stands out. It just looks awesome. Whereas the Philips Hue Go and Bloom, well, they look like traditional bowls of lights. Every light that you're seeing in this video is dimmable, and both allow you to customize the color of the light. When it comes to brightness, the 9-paneled Aurora is going to be much brighter than a single Hue, Go, or Bloom, but if you're running with the Philips Hue line of light bulbs, you're probably going to be getting several different bulbs. The Aurora takes a bit more effort to set up, as you have to mount it semi-permanently, but you can swap out the provided mounts with 3M command strips to give you a bit more flexibility if you want to change the panel setup. When it comes to functionality, both Nanoleaf and Philips have apps that allow you to control the color of their products, as well as set scenes for the product. In general, I would have to say that the Philips Hue app is a bit easier to use than the Nanoleaf app. I don't think I've run into any issues when trying to add Philips Hue bulbs to my home, but the Nanoleaf ones have been quite difficult to deal with. Not the Aurora though. The Aurora set up really easily. It's this Nanoleaf Smart Ivy bridge. This was really painful to set up, and this is a Smart Ivy, this is one of the regular Philips Hues. I just finished a comparison video between those two, so if that's of interest to you, do check that out. So how would I use these products? In short, the Philips Hue accessories complement a room, whereas the Nanoleaf Aurora is more like a standalone accessory. According to my sister, the architect, both product offers different uses. So she said the Philips Hue line is shaped like traditional lighting, whereas the Nanoleaf is more modern, so it really depends on a person's taste. The Philips is what you would expect for typical lighting, and the Nanoleaf is more of an artwork or centerpiece for a room. All that stuff, that kind of makes sense to me. It just kind of confirms my line of thought that the Nanoleaf is going to be put into a room where you plan to entertain people. Now, in my living room, my wife has a bunch of pictures put up, and the entire setup, color scheme, everything just revolves around these colors. So there really isn't any space for an Aurora, and really the Aurora would distract from those paintings. For this living room, I would definitely use the Philips Hue Bloom or Go lights to highlight the paintings. I'd also be placing Philips Hue colored bulbs in all the lamp sockets closest to the walls, as well as the lamps. I might even consider putting an LED strip at the bottom of the mantle, and I would definitely be putting the LED strips in the cabinets below the TV. Now, if my living room didn't have any paintings, I would probably put the Nanoleaf Aurora between the two built-in cabinets, because it still requires power, and the power cable to the lights would really bother me on my mantle, since that would be the only thing on the mantle. I would still get a couple of color bulbs, but I would only use them in the lamps to supplement the colors coming from the Aurora. Living room, or basically any room where you're planning on entertaining people, is going to be a great place to put a Nanoleaf Aurora. I'm going to talk about the bedroom and kitchen next, and those places, depending on what kind of entertaining you do, I guess, probably won't be as useful for the Aurora. Great for the Philips Hue stuff because, well, they're like traditional light bulbs, so you can do what you want with them. But the Aurora, because of its unique design, you got to be careful. In the bedroom, well, having it behind your head, right above your bed, would be kind of useful in terms of reading in bed or doing stuff in bed. Personally, the Aurora would be a hard buy for me to put in the bedroom, since I don't spend a lot of awakened time in the room. I would still definitely get a colored smart light bulb for the night lamp, though. How about the kitchen? I definitely would say no to this, because I personally want normal colored light while I cut food. It just, I just want to see what I'm cutting so I don't cut my fingers off. Plus, most kitchens have enough stuff in it that sticking an Aurora into tight spaces might make the kitchen seem a bit crowded. Again, that's why I say the Aurora is best for places where you're going to be entertaining people, like the room behind me, the living room. We entertain people here quite often, so having something that looks cool like the Aurora is going to be, it'll make for an interesting talking point and be able to set the mood for the room. Whereas in everywhere else, I wouldn't put it in my bedroom. Definitely not the bathroom. That'd be weird. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, do give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel, as I will be doing, well, somehow this just, see, problems with the Nanoleaf Smart stuff. Like it just turned on, it just went to 100. That is still normal. This is not. This is frustrating. Do subscribe to the channel, as I'm producing a ton of smart home accessory reviews over the next while. I've got tips and tricks, review videos, as well as comparison videos. Again, if you want to see a comparison between these two smart LED light setups, do check out that video. That's kind of all I got. Thanks for watching.